we're getting more Afghans.
Yay,
because the government is retarded. And I hate everything. And
Isn't it, statistically speaking, per capita, Afghans are some of the worst sex criminals in the world?
Oh, I've got that, don't worry.
Okay. Sorry.
I've got all of that, don't
Sorry.
worry. Per capita, in the UK specifically, we have those figures. So this is one of the biggest F-ups I've ever seen, is that we're having to take up to potentially estimated an extra 100,000 people, because the 24,000 who are being offered asylum in this country after a data breach also, have families and dependents that they need to bring along with them, because they're not safe either, despite the fact that, as we'll find out, they are actually pretty safe staying where they already are. The UK government has just got to cargo cult more foreigners into the country. More foreigners equals more good, no matter what the actual real consequences on the ground are. So if we just pray to the cargo cult of more foreigners, good things will eventually happen, is the logic behind all of this. Except Dan has pointed out that, there's normally like an economic reason which we're given for these kinds of things. There's always some kind of explanation given as to why it will improve our lives in some way, or at least improve the lives of the people that we're bringing in. But due to court injunctions on all of this has only just been revealed now, despite the fact this process has been in play since at least 2023, and the information, the data breach, was in 2022. So they've been trying to keep it secret from us. The Telegraph and other publications haven't been able to report on this because they know it would piss you all off. There's also, they would make the excuse of, oh, well, if the Taliban government knew that we were doing this, then they might leap into action and get all of these guys before we can save their lives. The Taliban has had this information for 3 years.
Yeah, they literally come out and said, yeah, we knew about that, guys.
Yeah.
We knew about the data. We had the data. We knew it.
And of course, it's going to cost potentially £7 billion.
Wait, can I just clarify a few things?
Yes, I was going to clarify what's happened as well.
Well, so I was just going to say, so at the heart of it then is that where the coalition of the willing invaded... What's funny?
Oh, yeah. Against the axis of evil.
Invaded Afghanistan in what, 01, was it?
I think Afghanistan...
It was straight after 9/11. So.
Iraq was 03,
yeah. And it's mainly the UK and Britain. And so where loads of people worked with us or for us during the next 20-odd years... as either, troops, policemen, interpreters, whatever. Yeah, it's those people. The argument is that if the Taliban ever found out who they were, they would certainly torture them or murder them, or at least arrest them, put them in prison for being collaborators with us. Is that what this is? That's
the logic.
Okay.
The people involved in this data breach specifically were involved in 2 large units, I believe, that each of them had triple digits at the end of the name of the unit, which was like 444 or 333, something like that. As such, they were known colloquially by the forces as the triples. So it's the members of these triples units who have had their data breach, because what happened was in early 2022, February 2022, some random Royal Marine sent an email to a group of Afghans and accidentally included in that email a spreadsheet containing the identities of 25,000 Afghans who were applying for asylum in the UK.
Accidentally?
Yes, and he did it twice.
That's a big spreadsheet as well.
Yeah, and these were soldiers who had worked...
spreadsheet.
Not only was it the soldiers' names who'd worked with their families, but in here as well, it also included details of their contact details, the personal information, and the names of their families. Just like everything, like so. To be fair, from the perspective of one of those guys,
sucks to be you. Yeah.
From the perspective of one of those guys who's worried, trying to get his family out or make sure that they're still safe, I would be pissed off, to be fair, that some random Royal Marine accidentally fat fingers when he's doing when he's adding a link or an attachment to his email and accidentally sends the wrong spreadsheet.
You say that, I don't care. And I don't care because there are countless documentaries from British and US special forces that are sat there going, one of the worst things I had to do in Afghanistan was turn a blind eye to these pedos.
Yeah, Dan mentioned
right?
that.
So, no, I don't care. Stay there.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I could not care less. Woe is you. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I remember at the time,
It's
Callum was showing a lot of the
brutal.
documentary footage of
It's awful.
of the soldiers confronting these Afghan collaborators,
And their higher ups going,
and they're just like, well, you know, I was sodomized as a child, so it's my turn now.
just
Like the fagging system in public schools in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to me, now it's my turn.
Yeah, and as a result, so far, according to Patrick Christie's, we've got 18,500 secretly flown to the UK after this data breach revealed their identity to the Taliban. Some had previously been denied entry due to sexual or violent crimes. So this is something else that happens. This is something, I think there was a Channel 4 documentary that I referenced a while back, where it's like sometimes they will just commit sexual and violent crimes when they're over here, and the HMRC, not HMRC, the ECHR will refuse to allow us to deport them because they'll get executed in their home countries for being a sex criminal.
yeah, but to hell with your personal safety. To hell with your human rights and your safety and the fact that you need to be protected. To hell with you. To hell with that. It doesn't matter, does it?
And it costs £7 billion. So one of the big things...
Interject a little thing. I'm not buying this Marine accidentally did that. Certainly if he did it twice.
Yeah, twice.
You kind of don't accidentally attach a spreadsheet to an email. Certainly not twice. Certainly not a massive spreadsheet where it actually has to think about it for a moment before it's finished uploading to the email as an attachment.
Yeah, that would take quite a long time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really buy that you... It doesn't really add up to me. I mean, it's possible. Okay, it's possible. But I feel like, once again, from our globalist, the cabal of globalist criminals that run us, that are intent on flooding us with as many foreign psychos and monsters and sex criminals as possible at all times. They were behind that. They were like, well, if you accidentally send this, then we can make the argument that we have to import them. That makes more sense to me than that he accidentally went, oh, I'll just attach this giant spreadsheet to this email.
Watch it upload.
Yeah, and it's finished. Send.
Well, what's that?
I'll do it again.
Oh, soz.
Whoops.
I can't possibly cancel
I'll just CC the Taliban into this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is fishy. I could believe that, given the general incompetence of everybody these days, perhaps.
I suppose it is possible.
But also, because we don't have any evidence that it was anything other than an accident. I think best case, most moral scenario is that the Royal Marine was tired of having to turn a blind eye to all of these people being pederasts and decided, I'll get them killed. I'll just get them killed. That's possibly the most moral.
Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Solution. Unfortunately, either way. No matter what the catastrophe is, no matter where it happens in the world, our involvement or responsibility, obviously we were deployed in Afghanistan, we were part of the occupation, etc., etc. But even in situations where that isn't the case, where we're not involved at all, we're nowhere near, none of our national interests are involved, the solution is always more immigrants into Britain or Europe as a whole. That's always the consequence of anything that goes wrong in particularly the third world.
Sins of the father.
Happened to be a reasonably just occupation in my opinion anyway. I don't buy the Lord Miles Callum angle that the Taliban were hard done by in any way, or they're actually all right in any way. They're complete scumbags, backward scumbags.
I don't care about any of them over there. I don't think it was wise to try and force them to respect women's rights, but that's also because I don't really care that much about the women's rights in the desert somewhere over there. Okay, they treat each other horribly over there. It's not my business.
Right.
Either way, so it came to light after this whole data breach. It came to light a year later, 2023, when an anonymous Facebook user, just some random Facebook user, posts extracts of the data. Just posted them on Facebook. The posts were deleted within 3 days after MOD officials contacted Meta, but the government decided it had no choice as a result to offer asylum to the Afghans affected because they are at risk of reprisal attacks from the Taliban.
I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, stay where you are. We don't want you. We don't need you.
So they give context here that a number of former Afghan special forces personnel had been murdered by the Taliban since it regained power in 2021. Some of those who will come to Britain now, as they mentioned in their tweet, had previous asylum applications rejected, and now they've had to reverse all of that. However, also, the number expected to be brought to Britain as a result of the breach was initially stated in court documents to be nearly 43,000 people. However, John Healey, the Defence Secretary, told Parliament that it was just about 6,900 Afghans will be brought to Britain as a direct result of the breach, but also according to the MOD, 4,500 are already in the country or are in transit, and 2,400 more are yet to travel. We have the information from Patrick Christie's that we've already had 18,500 in here, and later in the article they say in total it's believed that between 800,000 and 100,000 people were affected by the data breach. So we've got conflicting figures over exactly how many. The headline has given 24,000, though.
It's going to be way worse than that. It's going to be way worse than that. Mark my words, the amount that's revealed, it's going to be so much worse.
And again, the government fought a 2-year legal battle to keep it a secret. The super injunction was lifted on midday on Tuesday by the High Court. So that I would imagine they would say, there was national state secrets needed to be covered up, and we needed to make sure that we could get them over before the Taliban knows. There'll be some kind of national security reason why they wanted to keep this a secret. But also, it helps that they managed to delay the blowback on this for 2 years.
Well, they're now the headlines are like the government's incredibly worried that there's going to be riots due to this. It's like, so why did you do it then?
Yeah.
Act like that's one of the reasons why they did the super injunction as well, to stop everyone talking about it. And now you're like, well, people are going to be really annoyed about this, right? So maybe, just maybe, that should be the indication at which you go, shouldn't be doing this, actually, should we? Because those people that we serve, that we're in this position to serve, they're going to be really annoyed about this. You probably shouldn't be doing that.
A fair point. Whether it's a super injunction or a D-notice or whatever you want to call it, that should be a massive, massive scandal. We live in a world where we're used to being screwed over by our government so badly, so egregiously. Something like this is like, just throw it on top of the pile of all the other treason and betrayal we've experienced. But it should be an absolute scandal. A couple of quick questions, though.
Of course.
When it originally happened, or when the original super injunction was put in place, who was the minister in charge of immigration at that time?
I imagine, I don't know. It would have been either 2022 when this originally happened, or 2023 when the information was posted on Facebook and the Ministry of Defence decided to start handing out asylum to the people affected.
I believe it was the Right Honourable Robert Jenrick MP, if I'm not mistaken.
Apparently, someone else looked into this and said that the timelines it don't massively line up, that he would have basically left around the same time. Okay. It sounds like he probably was like, "Oh, I'm done with this."
Well, don't try to stop it or anything.
Brewing. I don't know. I can't. I'm just, yeah.
The other thing is, what's the conversion rate or the ratio of 100,000 or 43,000 Afghans? What's that convert into number of British women raped? It's going to be a minimum of a few hundred, isn't it?
I think...
There's no way it won't be.
Yeah, I think Firas figured this out, about 250. And we're spending about £7 billion on it.
I replied to this and said, no, it's way worse.
Well,
because they will have kids.
Yeah.
Of course. At my expense.
So the cost is estimated about $7 billion. And also this comes alongside, speaking of things to pile on top of each other. So the Rachel from Accounts has tried to make us a 9.9, almost £10 billion headroom in the budget, in the government budget and economy and such, to balance the books. This takes out most of that. And also we found out that the cost of housing asylum seekers, you remember when it was about, I think a few years ago, it was 2.2 million per day? And how Labour were campaigning on things like they'd reduce the cost of such things, we'd get a stronger border. Well, now it's £4 million per day. So it's gone up from 4.5 billion per year to roughly about 15.3.
Great.
Wasn't the point of removing them from,
or at least that's the
hotel
estimate for 2029,
to cheapen the bill?
Well, I remember.
Why has it gone up?
Well, what they tried,
Yeah.
if you remember, what they tried to do was they tried to shove them on a load of boats on the coastline. They tried to get them in big cargo ships. Which,
Well, there was that.
Billy Stocko.
There was that
Yeah.
one.
yeah,
Was that one prison hulk they made?
which was a complete failure.
Yeah, which was a failure. Or didn't they burn it down anyway quite quickly?
They
Didn't
tried.
I think they tried. They
Yeah.
they definitely vandalised the whole place.
They were causing a nuisance. That was on Portland.
So-
That's actually where I grew up in Portland. And
So-
they were causing a nuisance down there. Sorry.
Oh no. So something to point out here is that people who are in the know, like Lord Miles, for instance, said that he knew that the head of the foreign intelligence of the Taliban had the list for years, and they don't care. They did a blanket amnesty for anybody who was like a low-level collaborator. They already had a blanket amnesty on those people, and they're not in any danger. And Firas also commented on this, saying that the American withdrawal happened in August 2021. The data of 19,000 applicants who had applied to relocate were inadvertently leaked. Tory government, blah, 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 blah. So they already knew. There's no evidence that these people were going to be killed by the Taliban because the Taliban already had this information. If it could get leaked on Facebook, then the Taliban already had access to it. I think that's a pretty clear thing, especially seeing as the spreadsheets were leaked in emails to Afghans. So again, this is just an excuse to bring in more foreigners. That's what this is. The people who are affected by that, they're thinking to themselves, well, I'm not getting killed, but I am a disgrace to my country because I collaborated with an occupational foreign government. And there's not much opportunity here. This is still Afghanistan, still not a nice place to be. I'm in the desert. People kill each other every single day. Or I could move to England with its wonderful welfare system and ample opportunity for illegal work for people who shouldn't be working.
Yeah, I could go and live in Telford or Oldham or satellite town of Birmingham and, sign on and be an Uber Eats guy.
Yeah. Or just do nothing at all. As Rupert Lowe shared out, foreign nationals claiming universal credit is just a straight line up. Line go up. Line go up. Job done, guys.
The line's gone up.
The line has gone up. Salvation be praised.
The line of unemployment has gone up. The line of adult illiteracy has gone up. Line gone up.
Oh, jobs are good, lads. And Rupert Lowe also shared out this, which was information from the Centre for Migration Control from 2021 to 2023. The nationality of people who commit sexual assault in numbers. So right at the bottom here, you can see United Kingdom, people of UK nationality, probably be boosted by people who just have the passports. Per 10,000 is 2.66. Afghans almost 60.
They're literally top of the table.
Top of the leaderboard.
They're literally the most dangerous sex criminals in the world.
When they're in England, yes.
Statistically, whilst they're in England per
yes.
capita.
So we're getting more of these guys.
Great.
We've got some of them.
And again, not only those guys, but we're getting the collaborators who we already knew were, sodomizing children.
Great, fantastic, brilliant. When will the trial start happening?
Yeah.
When can we put our?
And as a
political
result
classes
of this sort of stuff, I double checked this information. As a result, when it comes to Europe, we're rape capital of Europe.
It's going to be higher than that now as well.
Probably. Great job.
Because that was 2022. So
Great job, guys. This is the extent. This is what the benefits of being the second most powerful soft power in the world gets you.
By a long way as well.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, Sweden's pretty high. Sorry about that, Sweden.
If you think, actually, that how close we are to the United States and how big their population is by comparison to us. I mean, that's mental.
Yeah, we've got slightly more than half the number of rape cases in 2022.
That's insane.
Except we have a population of, what is it, like 60 million now?
Supposedly.
60 or 70 million. And they've got a population of 330 plus million. Great. Fantastic. And
everyone involved in this. Not just this, I mean the general...
String them up.
Yeah. What a crime. What a terrible crime to have
This
done
is
this.
under Boris Johnson as well. Wasn't it? Or no?
Well, I'm talking about everyone from Blair onwards.
Oh, right, yeah. No, who had been the Prime Minister for this? Rishi?
I think Johnson would have still been the Prime Minister. Johnson was still the Prime Minister at the time of the Afghan collapse.
Yeah.
It was 2022, late 2022, if I remember correctly, that Liz Truss became PM for a day, and then Rishi was installed straight after. Yeah. So the majority of these mess-ups would have been done under Boris, who is kind of who's kind of like a shadowy figure at this point in British politics, where there's always the threat that he's going to re-emerge, and retards with no object permanence and who can't remember past 5 days ago will go, I remember Boris. He was from when times were better. He got us Brexit. He got Brexit done. He kept us safe during lockdowns. We'll get him back on charge, and we'll see what happens then. And they'll forget.
There are still Tory boy Boris simps on Twitter. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Mad, right?
And also our inflation's dead high. It's back. Shockingly enough, when you're spending billions of pounds cargo cult importing these people into the country, and then they immediately jump on benefits and start committing crimes, and then you're
whilst using the NHS, and you have no budget with which to cover any of this stuff, and also you're socialists. And also you lied about your qualifications for being Chancellor in the first place. It turns out this is not a recipe for economic success.
That's another POPR, policy of pure retardation.
Yeah.
Open borders and socialist policies with respect to healthcare and things like that, yeah.
The welfare state and no borders. The welfare state and no borders.
Yeah.
Completely retarded. Pure.
POPR.
POPR.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.